If you have ever wondered about the power of yoga for intuition, or if you've ever wanted to tap into your own intuition, the story of one yoga teacher's escape from a Hawaiian jungle will surely inspire you. It's the story I woke up to this morning. Opening my mail at the Daily Meditation's office today, I was struck by the news of a yoga teacher who used her intuition to literally escape a Hawaiian jungle. I wanted to know how, and I've answered that question below. Yoga instructor Amanda Eller, 35, headed out for a nice hike on May 8th while over in Hawaii. It was supposed to be a simple 3-mile hike, a bit of exercise and an adventure. Then she found herself lost in the jungle with no idea how to get back home. 17 days later she was rescued, albeit with a fractured leg and severely dehydrated, by a waterfall and a 20-foot cliff. You might think this story was a horror flick ready on Netflix. But Eller herself says it was a profoundly spiritual experience. It began with a mystery. Eller simply didn't return home as expected one day after what was a very routine hike, the sort of trek the yoga teacher was completely accustomed to doing. However, for some unknown reason, on that day Eller became disoriented while hiking and strayed onto the wrong path. She did not have her phone with her and so had no way to communicate with friends, family, anyone at all. There's something philosophical about the situation. Becoming lost in a jungle with no way home and no means of communication, left with nothing but your own sense of inner guidance. It's the way many of us feel at those challenging times in our lives. Eller was lost for 16 days and 17 nights. And after the 5th day she injured her leg and was unable to walk. She lost her shoes and socks. Lived off of berries picked from the jungle. And slept in a cave. At times, helicopters would circle over Eller, but they were unable to see her through the density of trees and foliage. Then, she was eventually found next to a waterfall. Eller says it was her gut instinct and intuition to keep on moving that led her to the waterfall and to her eventual rescue. Yet more proof of the power of yoga for intuition. The link between yoga and intuition. There is a direct link between yoga and intuition. And it's actually quite simple to grasp. Intuition is the voice inside your head that guides you. However, that voice tends to talk quietly, and the average person has too much noise in their mind to listen. They simply cannot hear their inner voice over the mental noise. The best way to actually hear your inner voice is to quieten your mind. This is why yoga helps with intuition. When we do yoga the proper way, we move into various yoga poses and then we tune in and listen to the body. In doing this we are training the mind to be more aware of those often quiet signals that are trying to communicate with us. Meditation does the same thing. It quietens our mind so we can hear what is happening within ourselves. The more we listen, the more we hear. As we practice yoga and listen to the mind and body, we start to hear the messages we are being sent. This is the power of yoga for intuition. It lets us hear ourselves. Intuition takes place in the limbic brain, the reptilian part of the brain. It is often a subconscious thing. Read How to Tap into Your Subconscious Mind Power. This part of the brain is actually a key reason why we were able to survive prehistoric times. Our intuition would send us warnings of threats so that we could respond accordingly, by running away from that T-Rex. Today, however, there is so much noise and so many distractions that we have lost touch with our intuition. Yoga helps us get back in touch. Many scientific studies actually show that we remember everything that happens subconsciously, and we even remember the experiences of our ancestors, too. Is this what happened to yoga teacher Amanda Eller when she was lost in the jungle? Did she hear the voices of her ancestors telling her how to survive? With yoga, intuition becomes accessible because we ourselves become quiet enough to hear. So just how, exactly, do you do it? How do you use yoga for intuition? How to use yoga for intuition? Yogis know what it is like to have heightened intuition. One of the more spiritual and subtler benefits of yoga is intuition. Amanda Eller is far from the only yogi to experience that. But just how do you use yoga for intuition? The answer is a combination of asanas, meditations and a few key lifestyle changes. Let's take a look. Here are the top 5 ways to use yoga for intuition. 1. Practice Pratyahara Yoga. Pratyahara Yoga is the art of sense withdrawal. When we practice Pratyahara Yoga, we withdraw from sensory information. This is huge in the 21st century because everyone is constantly in a state of sensory overload. By just turning off that information, we give our minds a break. This leads us to be internally quiet, which in turn lets us hear our intuition. This is perhaps the best way of using yoga for intuition. Point 2. Listen to your body when you do yoga. Many people have lost touch with the more spiritual side of yoga. Many people simply do yoga as exercise, but it is so much more than that. It is spiritual. When doing yoga, engage your mind. Actively listen to your body. Tune in to what your body is telling you. Become aware of those messages. This will open the pathway to intuition. Point 3. Try slower forms of yoga. It can be difficult to truly tune into your body while you are sweating your way through a fast-paced yoga practice. The obvious solution is to slow down. There are more than 28 forms of yoga. Try one of the slower styles. By going slower, you give yourself the chance to truly listen to your body, and to hear your intuition. Point 4. Practice yoga meditations. Another powerful way to use yoga for intuition is to use yogic meditation techniques. Meditation slows the mind down and lets us hear what is happening within. It also cuts out distractions that prevent us from being more aware. By spending just 20 minutes a day meditating, you will learn to listen to your intuition. Yoga meditations comes in various forms, so be sure to read the link above to find the best one for you. One of the best meditations for this is Third Eye Ajna Chakra Meditation. Point 5. Open your chakras, especially the third eye chakra. You will naturally tap into your intuition when you open your chakras. How to do chakra meditation. The most important chakra for intuition is the Ajna Chakra. This is located between the eyebrows, and is the chakra that opens us to spirituality and to insight, intuition, and psychic powers. You can open this chakra using Shambhavi Mudra. And that's how to use yoga for intuition. How powerful is your sense of intuition? Yoga can take that intuition even further. By following the tips above, you will learn to